Okay, here's a question for you. If you looked at your career right now, like truly looked at it as a startup,
Mm.
would you invest in it?
Hmm.
Seriously.
Hmm.
Just pause and think about that for a second. Because, well, for a lot of us, the honest answer might reveal a bit of a blind spot.
Yeah, it's easy to miss. We get caught up in the day-to-day.
Exactly. We find ourselves operating without, a clear competitive edge, maybe no real growth strategy, sometimes not even an exit plan. It's surprisingly common.
It really is, and it can hold people back in ways they don't even realize.
But then you look at the flip side.
Right. The people who do treat their careers like founders, who are constantly evaluating, asking, where's my market? What's my edge? The difference is,
Like, it's huge.
huge how? Like, what does the research show?
Well, Harvard Business School research found that folks who analyze their career strategically, like a startup founder would, they earn about 180% more over their lifetime.
Wow, 180%.
Yeah.
That's staggering. It is. And the key thing here is it's not usually about raw talent or just getting lucky. It's not even just about working harder.
So it's the approach.
It's the systematic, strategic mindset. That's the core differentiator.
Right. So strategy, not just effort or talent, that's what builds actual career wealth.
Okay.
So today, that's what we're digging into. We're calling it the Career Startup Analysis Framework.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just like abstract theory. It's a practical system for building wealth through your work, not just, trading hours for a paycheck.
Exactly. We want to unpack the research behind it, but also use a real-world example, someone people can relate to show how it actually works in practice.
We'll look at how shifting that perspective, from just being an employee to being the CEO of Me, Inc.
Yeah, CEO of your own career. That's the frame.
How that lets you proactively create opportunities just like an entrepreneur does.
Because that's where the real long-term value creation starts. It's that fundamental mindset shift.
Okay, let's make this concrete. Let's talk about Jennifer. She's 28, works as a marketing coordinator, mid-sized company down in Phoenix.
Okay.
And Jennifer, she ticks all the boxes for a good employee. Smart, works really hard, everyone likes her, first one in, last one out kind of person.
Sounds familiar, gets good reviews, too.
Consistently glowing reviews. So on paper, you'd think, she's golden, set for success.
Right.
You would think.
But
Jennifer was getting really frustrated. 3 years in, solid performance, but her salary had barely budged.
ouch. Yeah.
And she's watching newer people, sometimes with, frankly, less experience, kind of leapfrog her for promotions.
That's gotta sting.
Totally. So she felt stuck. The role wasn't challenging anymore, but she was also, afraid to jump ship because the job market felt uncertain.
That's a really common trap, isn't it? Feeling stuck, but also feeling like you can't move. Why does that happen to so many competent people?
Well, she was making what we sometimes call the employee mindset mistake.
Okay, what's that?
Instead of thinking strategically about creating value for herself, for a future, she was optimizing for security and getting approval in her current role.
Ah, so thinking for the business she worked at instead of thinking like she was the business.
Exactly. But then she came across some research from Harvard Business School, really opened her eyes. And she realized her biggest hurdle wasn't her performance. It was the complete lack of any systematic way of making professional decisions.
The lack of strategy.
Right. And this is the cool part. Once she started applying this startup analysis thinking to her own career, everything started to change.
And that lines up perfectly with what those Harvard researchers found when they studied long-term career paths.
Yeah. What was their big discovery?
They found the biggest predictor of long-term success wasn't necessarily your degree or your network or even those great performance reviews Jennifer was getting. It was something else.
Okay, intriguing. What was it?
It was what Professor Clayton Christensen termed strategic career thinking.
Strategic career thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, break that down.
It's basically the ability to constantly assess your position in the market, figure out your unique competitive advantages, and actively look for growth opportunities, just like a CEO does for their company.
So it's an ongoing process, not a one-time thing.
Exactly. It's rigorous. It's not guesswork.
And Christensen's research, the one you mentioned, following people for decades.
Yeah, in the Innovator Solution, they followed 1,800 professionals for 20 years.
Yeah.
And the results were just, well, staggering.
How staggering.
The people who used systematic frameworks like this for their career decisions earn, on average, $2.3 million more over their careers.
$2.3 million more.
Yep, compared to those who just kind of followed conventional wisdom or, worked hard and hoped for the best.
That's incredible. But here's what gets me. You said they weren't necessarily job hoppers.
That's the really counterintuitive part. They actually made fewer career moves.
Fewer moves,
Yeah.
but earned way more.
Exactly. Because each move they did make was strategically calculated. It was designed to maximize their market position, strengthen their competitive advantage.
Okay, so quality over quantity of moves.
Precisely. Contrast that with, well, how most people approach it. It's often reactive, right?
Yeah, responding to job ads, taking whatever raise is offered.
Staying put until things get really bad.
That explains why the average American apparently changes jobs like 12 times, but doesn't see huge salary growth after inflation.
It does. There's a fundamentally better way to navigate your career.
Which brings us right back to this career startup analysis framework.
Exactly. It gives you that structure. It's about looking at your professional life through 4 key dimensions, treating it like a business you're trying to grow.
Okay, let's dive into the first one. Dimension 1, market position assessment.
Right. The basic question here is, are you playing in a growing market or is it shrinking?
And you're saying people often miss this? They focus too much on just their company?
They do. They look at how their specific company is doing, but they ignore the bigger industry tides that are actually shaping their future value.
Like Jennifer. She was in traditional marketing, doing well in her role.
But the whole field was being disrupted, right? Digital, automation, data analytics.
Yeah. So her generalist skills, even though she was good, were kind of quietly losing market value. Those great reviews didn't reflect the market reality.
It's like running a mini market intelligence operation, but for your own career.
So how do you do that systematically?
You have to research. Look at industry growth rates. Bureau of Labor Statistics is a good start. Check automation risks for your specific role. Forecast demand for the skills you have and the skills you might need.
So looking at job postings, industry reports.
Exactly. Job posting trends in your area are gold. Are salaries going up or down for roles like yours? What skills are popping up in descriptions now that weren't there 2 years ago?
Okay, so red flags would be a shrinking industry, your job tasks being automated.
Definitely. Or, if new grads can basically do your core functions for way less money, that's a huge red flag.
And green flag.
An industry growing faster than the overall economy. Skills becoming more specialized, not less. Roles that require complex human judgment, creativity, strategy, things machines aren't good at yet.
Got it. Okay, dimension 2, competitive advantage audit.
This one's critical. What makes you irreplaceable? Or at least hard to replace?
And you mentioned earlier just working hard doesn't really cut it anymore.
Right, that's table stakes. It's the baseline expectation. You need something more unique.
So Jennifer, when she looked honestly, she realized
She realized she didn't really have anything specific. She could do general marketing tasks, but so could lots of other people. She was replaceable.
that's a tough realization.
It is, but it's necessary. This audit forces you to identify your unique mix, skills, experience, maybe relationships that are genuinely hard for someone else to replicate quickly.
So weak advantages are things like just being reliable or general experience.
Things that are commodities. Strong advantages are maybe a unique combination of skills, like tech skills plus deep industry knowledge, or specialized expertise, valuable connections, a track record of bringing in revenue.
Things that create tangible value that's hard to find elsewhere.
That's the key, your real differentiators.
Okay, dimension 3, strategic positioning.
This asks, are you just sort of maintaining your current spot or are you actively building towards something bigger?
Like a startup always having a growth plan.
Exactly. Founders are always thinking, what's the next stage? How do we scale? How do we increase value? Employees often don't think that way about their own careers.
Jennifer was kind of in maintenance mode, you said. Doing her job well, but
Not systematically building value or creating future options. It's like treading water. You're working hard, but you're not actually going anywhere strategically.
So a strategic approach means every role, every project.
Should be intentional. Is this increasing my skills? Is it expanding my valuable network? Is it positioning me for better opportunities down the line? Ideally, all 3.
You're not just doing tasks, you're building your career capital, your future trajectory.
We're building assets for your future self.
Makes sense. And the last one, dimension 4, exit strategy planning.
Right. This is simply about having options.
Entrepreneurs always have multiple potential paths, right? An exit strategy.
Always. They're thinking about acquisition, IPO, maybe merging. But most employees, their exit strategy is often just stay put or maybe randomly look for another job if things get bad.
Yeah, it's like having only one door, say or leave.
And Jennifer, she didn't really have an exit strategy beyond maybe finding a similar marketing coordinator job elsewhere. That's not strategic.
I think for many of us, the only exit strategy we used to think about was winning the lottery.
Huh. Yeah, that's not quite the strategic plan we're talking about. Having genuine, viable options based on your value, that's a real career freedom.
So the framework says you should always be cultivating what? 2 or 3 potential paths.
At least. Based on those competitive advantages you've identified and where the market is heading, this way you're never truly trapped. You always have agency, always have strategic alternatives you could pursue.
Okay, the framework makes sense conceptually, but let's see it in action with Jennifer. How did she actually apply this?
Right, this is where it gets practical. Her transformation is a great case study.
So, months 1 and 2, she started with Dimension 1, market position.
Yep. She really dug into the marketing industry trends. And that's when she discovered the huge demand for marketing automation specialists.
And the salaries were much higher.
Significantly higher, like 40% higher than what she was making. She also saw this rise of fractional experts, consultants working part-time for multiple companies. That hinted at different ways to structure a career, too.
Interesting. So months 3 and 4, she moved to competitive advantage.
She did, and crucially, she didn't wait to be assigned something. She proactively volunteered to manage her company's rollout of marketing automation software.
So she created the opportunity.
Exactly. And then she spent her own time, evenings, taking online courses, really immersing herself to become the go-to person internally for this new valuable skill. She was building her unique skill stack.
Okay, so she's building expertise. Months 5 and 6, strategic positioning.
Right. She didn't just learn the tool, she focused on the impact. How does this automation drive revenue? How can we measure it?
Connecting the skill to business results.
Crucial. She started documenting case studies, actual results, showing how her automation work boosted sales qualified leads by like 60%. Tangible proof of value?
Wow. Okay, and then months 7 and 8, exit strategy.
Yes, but smartly. She didn't just quit.
No.
No, she used her current job almost like a safe laboratory. She started doing some freelance marketing automation consulting on the side, weekends mostly.
Testing the waters.
Yeah.
Building external validation.
Precisely. Testing her skills, testing her market value, building leverage before needing to make a big move.
That's really smart. So what were the results after, say, 10 months of this?
Pretty remarkable. Inside her company, she got promoted to marketing automation manager, and her salary jumped from $52,000 to $68,000.
Nice bump. And the freelancing.
That brought in an extra $15,000 in its first year. Plus, she started getting unsolicited job offers, 3 of them specifically for her automation expertise.
So she went from a generalist hoping for a raise to a specialist with options knocking on her door.
Exactly. She didn't just change jobs, she fundamentally changed her market position and her value proposition.
Jennifer's story really highlights that idea of changing your market position. But that leads to a big question. How do you know when to make a move like that? When do you stick with your current path versus making a pivot?
That's a fantastic question, and honestly, it's one of the most powerful uses of this whole career startup framework, making that pivot versus persevere decision strategically.
Because the traditional thinking is often just, oh, I should be grateful I have a job, or maybe things will get better.
Right, or the grass isn't always greener, which can be true, but it avoids the strategic question. The strategic question is this current role, this current path, actively building my long-term market value and options? Or is it potentially eroding them?
Okay, so you need signals. When should you persevere? Double down where you are.
You persevere when the signals are positive. Your industry is growing faster than average. Your role itself is becoming more specialized, more valuable. You're actively building unique competitive advantages that are hard to replicate.
Clear advancement opportunities exist.
Right. And your skills are genuinely increasing in value over time, not becoming obsolete. If those things are true, doubling down might be the right strategic move.
And the pivot signals. When is it time to really consider a change in direction?
The pivot signals are often the opposite. Your industry is shrinking or facing heavy automation. Your role is becoming a commodity. Lots of people can do it, maybe cheaper.
Your skill development is kind of plateaued.
Exactly. No clear path upward. Or, again, that red flag. Younger or cheaper workers with maybe slightly different skills can easily do your job.
So for Jennifer, her traditional marketing coordinator role, that screened pivot, didn't it?
It really did. The role was commoditizing, the industry was shifting under her feet.
Yeah.
So instead of just looking for another similar job, she made that strategic pivot within marketing towards that high-growth automation area.
And what I love about her story, and what seems really key here, is the risk management piece.
Absolutely crucial.
She didn't just leap into the unknown. She pivoted while she was still employed. Used her job as a safe space to build those new skills, test the market, create options.
That's strategic career development 101. You build the next ship while you're still sailing on the current one. It's incredibly smart, reduces risk dramatically.
It wasn't luck, it was methodical. So let's unpack the actual tools she used. How did she do that industry analysis?
Okay, yeah, let's get tactical. She used what we call the industry analysis method, 3 main steps.
Step one.
Future demand research. This is where she looked at those Bureau of Labor Statistics 10-year projections for marketing coordinators versus, say, digital marketing specialists.
Analyzing job posting trends, too.
Yep. In her city over the last couple of years, what skills were mentioned? Were salaries trending up or down for her role versus others? Really scrutinizing how job descriptions were changing, spotting the shifts.
Got it. Step two.
Automation risk assessment, asking those hard questions. Could a machine do the core parts of my job? Are younger folks with different, maybe more tech-focused skills replacing people like me? Is my value based on stuff anyone can Google easily?
Oof. Tough questions.
They are, but necessary. And step 3 was competitive landscape analysis.
Which means?
Looking around and asking, how many other people can do what I do? What would it really cost the company to replace me, not just salary, but time, training, disruption? And critically, what unique value do I create that's hard to find?
And her analysis showed that stark contrast.
Exactly. Traditional coordination, maybe a 15% projected decline, high automation risk, marketing automation, maybe 35% growth projected, requires human strategy. The opportunity was clear. Blend her marketing sense with those tech skills, reposition, don't just defend. That makes so much sense. And then there was the skill stack strategy. You mentioned this earlier.
Right. This is moving beyond just being good at one thing.
The traditional advice.
Yeah. The strategic approach is about combining complementary skills in a way that multiplies your value. It's like a 1 + 1 3 effect.
So Jennifer's stack was?
General marketing knowledge, which is pretty common, plus technical automation skills, less common, plus a focus on revenue optimization, actually quite rare, plus data analysis capability, super valuable.
So each skill adds value, but the combination is where the real premium comes from.
Precisely. Maybe marketing alone is 50K, automation alone 60K, but marketing plus automation plus revenue focus, that could push you to 75K or more. Yeah. Because that specific combination is rare and solves a bigger business problem.
What are some other examples of high-value combinations?
Oh, loads. Technical skills plus business acumen. Creative talent plus data analysis chops. Deep industry expertise plus knowledge of an emerging technology. Strong communication skills plus specialized technical knowledge. The key is rarity plus high value to an employer or client.
That's it. Find the overlap that the market really needs, but struggles to find easily.
And the third strategy she used was the network effect strategy. This wasn't just collecting contacts.
No, definitely not just collecting LinkedIn connections. It's about building strategic relationships that genuinely help accelerate your career.
How did Jennifer do that specifically?
She was intentional. She connected with the vendors selling marketing automation tools, learned about trends straight from the source. She joined online communities of other automation specialists, shared best practices, learned from peers.
Smart. Who else?
She built relationships with sales leaders inside her company and others to really understand the revenue impact of her work. And she connected with those fractional marketing consultants she'd read about exploring alternative career models.
So it was very targeted, like business development for her own career.
Exactly. It was ROI-focused networking. Every interaction aimed to either teach her something valuable, connect her to real opportunities, position her as an emerging expert, or build potential referral sources. Mutual value, not just asking for favors.
Okay, this is all incredibly practical. We've heard the framework, seen Jennifer's journey, unpacked the strategies. How does someone listening right now actually start implementing this?
Great question. We want to give you a clear path, something you can start this week.
Week 1, what's the focus?
Week 1, market position assessment. Do that research. Look up the 10-year projections for your role. Check salary trends in your area. Honestly assess the automation risk for your key tasks. And brainstorm. What growing industries could potentially use your current skills? Just get the lay of the land.
Okay, doable. Week 2.
Week 2, competitive advantage audit. Get out a notebook or a doc and write down what's your unique combo of skills, experience, relationships, what really makes you hard to replace right now, or what could. Research skills in your field that command higher pay. Be honest about your skill gaps.
All right, weeks 3 and 4.
Weeks 3 and 4, strategic positioning. Now you start planning. Set some specific skill development goals for the next year. Based on your research, sketch out maybe 2 or 3 potential future career paths. Make a simple plan to build strategic relationships. Maybe identify 3 key people to connect with. And think about how you'll stay current on industry trends going forward.
And this isn't just a one-off thing, right?
Absolutely not. We strongly recommend a monthly review process, just an hour or so. Track trends, check progress on your goals, look at new opportunities or threats that popped up, and tweak your strategy. It's an ongoing cycle.
Because the goal isn't necessarily constant job hopping.
No. The goal is constantly building strategic value, so you always have options, always have leverage whether you choose to use it or not.
It comes back to that core idea. Your career is your business. You're the CEO.
You are. And this systematic approach is how you build real wealth, real options. You become proactive, not reactive. The research is just so clear this kind of strategic thinking compounds over time. Your career decisions are simply too important to leave to chance or reaction.
So the challenge for everyone listening this week, do that initial career startup analysis for yourself. Don't feel pressured to make big changes right away. That's not the point yet. The immediate goal is just assessment. Get really, really clear on your current market position and your competitive advantages, or lack thereof.
That honest assessment, that clear-eyed view of where you stand today, that's always the first step in any effective strategic process.